Aquarius. Today we're going to look at August 23rd, 2025, and that's the new moon in Virgo. And if you enjoy this reading, please subscribe and tell me what you enjoyed about this reading. I'd love to read your comments. And thank you if you are already a subscriber. And sorry about that freaking rooster. Let's continue as he crows his head off. Okay, the number for this day in numerology is 22, and that's a master number, that's a master builder, and the architect of dreams made real through intention and structure. So for Aquarius, this number highlights your visionary nature, but it also reminds you that emotional clarity is required to build anything sustainable, so you can't ignore the heart if you want to change the world. So you might feel called to sit with your emotions before acting. That brilliant idea or breakthrough won't land if you're mentally spinning or emotionally blocked. Today asks you to slow down, feel what needs feeling, and recalibrate from there. Now in astrology, this new moon activates your 8th house, the realm of transformation, intimacy, emotional depth, shared resources, and inner shadows. It's a powerful opportunity to release emotional baggage and recommit to your healing process. So we're going to look at the sun. And we're going to look at the moon because they're together because it's a new moon. And they're in Virgo. That is your 8th house, transformation, vulnerability, and depth. So this is a deep reset. You're being asked to confront what's hidden, your fears, attachments, or emotional patterns, and clear space for something more authentic. So you may decide to end a draining cycle, or release old resentment, or open up emotionally where you've been guarded. Here's Mercury. Mercury is in retrograde and in Virgo, your 8th house. So this is going to talk about revisiting wounds or intimate agreements. So conversations about trust, power, and emotional debts may arise. You're being shown what still needs forgiveness within you and between you and another. So an old love or betrayal or shame story may reemerge. But this time, you're equipped to face it without collapsing. Venus. Venus is in Leo, your 7th house. That's going to talk about relationships, mirrors, and longing for authentic connection. So love wants to be seen, not just idealized. Venus asks, are your relationships nurturing or performative? So you may feel ready to stop pretending everything is fine and instead express a deeper emotional need in your partner or friend. Here's Mars. Mars is in Gemini. That's your 5th house. That's going to talk about creativity and romance and joy. So Mars fuels your expressive side, but also your inner child's impatience. So today's challenge, stop trying to distract yourself with noise. Go inward and listen. So you might feel frustrated by a stalled creative or romantic process, but underneath the static, a vulnerable truth waiting to be honored. Let's look at the tarot cards. First card I pulled for you is the Page of Cups. It says, I know how I feel. I keep forgetting to read that. So the Page of Cups talks about emotional openness, tenderness, and inner child messages. The Page of Cups is a soft energy. It's curious, emotional, tender, and open to wonder. It invites you to notice subtle messages from your heart and your dreams or your intuition. So you might receive a compliment or a message or intuitive nudge that feels small but strikes deep. So this card asks you to slow down enough to notice it. And here's your advice. Stay open to gentleness. Let vulnerability be your strength today. Next, we have the 4 of Cups. This says, don't dwell, feel the swell. Tongue twister. The 4 of Cups talks about emotional disconnection, boredom, and apathy. So this card appears when you're numbed out, possibly from overwhelm, disappointment, or exhaustion. It warns that you may be missing something beautiful because your focus is stuck on what didn't work. So you might feel emotionally flat. Even if life looks fine on the outside, a new opportunity or emotional offering could be right in front of you, but you're too checked out to receive it. So here's your advice. Pause, breathe, reconnect. The spark returns when you stop trying to ignore the ache. Thirdly, the Nine of Swords, and that says your mind is not always on your side. So the Nine of Swords talks about anxiety and sleeplessness and emotional weight. So the Nine of Swords reveals what keeps you up at night. That's fears and guilt and regrets or even looping thoughts. It doesn't predict disaster, but it shows that something inside needs attention before it festers. So you might feel anxious about something you haven't voiced. That could be a decision or a boundary or an emotion you've been avoiding. This card invites release, not through perfection, but through honest reflection. So here's your advice. Don't fight the feelings. Journal them. Cry them out. Talk to someone. What you acknowledge will soften. So, how does this day affect Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising? So, Aquarius Sun, you're beginning to acknowledge what's been lingering in the background of your mind and heart. This isn't breakdown, it's a breakthrough. So you might finally admit that something isn't working, and instead of spiraling, you make a grounded plan to address it, starting with emotional honesty. Aquarius Moon, your emotional tides are high today. You may feel waves of sadness, nostalgia, or longing, but underneath it all is the desire to reconnect with yourself. You don't want chaos. You want depth. You might cancel plans to sit with your emotions, and in doing so, realize you've needed this pause for a long time. Aquarius Rising, you may appear more introspective than usual. Others might notice a softer and more emotional side of you emerging. Don't hide it. This is part of your evolution. So you might surprise a friend or colleague by sharing a vulnerable truth, and that moment deepens the connection. So here's a summary of what this day means to Aquarius. This new moon is a soul cleanse, inviting you to honor what you feel instead of rushing to fix or avoid it. The tarot shows a journey from disconnection to openness, from fear to feeling. So the Page of Cups opens the door to tender insights and gentle healing. The Four of Cups asks you to reconnect with the present moment and what still wants to grow. And the Nine of Swords urges you to stop carrying your worries in silence. Relief begins with acknowledgement. So here's the real life takeaway. You're not too much. You're just full of truths that need space to breathe. Feeling off isn't failure, it's guidance. And what you avoid will grow louder. What you feel will set you free. Here's your advice for Aquarius on this day. This is a day of softness, not solutions. Be honest with yourself. Let your emotions rise without editing. Somewhere beneath the ache, a new dream is stirring. Listen to it. And thank you, Aquarius. And I hope to see you in your next reading. You're why? You're being asked to confront what's hidden. Rooster, I tell you. Sorry, everybody's walking through. It's just like, of course. No matter what time of day, they're going to do it when I'm doing this. Okay. Rant over. So, Sun, Moon. And that says, don't dwell. Feel the smell. That's not what it says. Okay, get the giggles out. Okay,